the Success Home team of Keller Williams Integrity Realty, and I'm joined here by Josh Hennesy with Megastar Financial. Hi, Josh.
Hey, Allie. How are you?
I'm good. So good to have you
Good.
here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Now, Josh, we're doing this call to inform people on the questions that I get asked most commonly, which
Okay.
is, do I need 20% down?
That's a great question. I like it. The short answer, no, you do not need 20% down to buy a house. There are programs with, so there's a couple different kinds of financing. There's conventional financing, FHA financing, VA, USDA, rural housing, down payment assistance. Conventional financing requires a minimum of 3% down. FHA requires 3.5% down. If you're a veteran and qualify for VA, that's a 0 down payment program. If you're looking outside the metro area, USDA rural housing is also a 0% down program. There's also a statewide program that offers down payment assistance where you only need $1,000 to get into a home. So although we always encourage more down payment, it's just not realistic to think that everyone's got 20% down. And there are several programs out there that we have that can work around that.
That's awesome. I think the next question that I get after, well, if I don't put 20% down, I'm going to have PMI. Tell me about that.
PMI, everyone hates PMI. Well, there are a couple things about PMI. The amount of PMI can vary depending on what your credit score is. So it's a credit score driven number. There's a factor used to determine what the monthly mortgage insurance is. Now I say monthly mortgage insurance because that's the most common type of PMI. You can also finance mortgage insurance into your rate, where you might pay a higher interest rate, not have monthly mortgage insurance, because it is financed into your rate. Now, when you're doing your taxes, the interest that you're paying on your loan, you get a bigger write-off, where if you just had the monthly mortgage insurance, you don't get a write-off for that. There's also ways to pay that monthly mortgage insurance up front. So there's a few different ways to mask PMI. If you're putting down less than 20%, you'll have a form of it, whether through the rate or paying it up front or monthly. It just depends on credit score, price point. Down payment also factors into what PMI is. It's not the end of the world, right? You might have it for a short period of time. If you put 10% down, you can tell me this, and appreciation is 3 to 5% a year. Would you say that's kind of the average on home appreciation generally?
Yeah.
So if you put 10% down and you're at 3 to 5%, in 3 to 4 years, you might have the opportunity to just drop the monthly mortgage insurance.
You know, Josh, now that you say that, I know we've helped clients be able to achieve just removing PMI from, as they've lived in the home for a while, they've had appreciation and some other factors. And so sometimes the PMI gets removed at a quicker rate than if they just waited for it to fall off of the loan.
Yep. I think the standard PMI is for 7 years. So if you don't do anything, it'll drop off after 7 years. But you can be proactive if you feel like you've got the equity. So I get calls on that all the time. People will ask me, hey, I think I've got 20% equity. I'd like to drop my MI. Well, the first thing you have to do is request through your servicer that you'd like to drop MI. And what they'll do is they'll send out an evaluator to it's kind of like an appraisal, but they'll do some kind of valuation of the home to determine if you've got that 20%. And as long as you've been on time with your payments for the last 12 months and you've got that equity, you would be in a position to have your MI dropped. And so getting back to when people call me, I'll actually tell them to reach out to people like you, Holly, their realtor, that can talk through and at least give them an idea of what their value might be. Because the appraisers and where they're getting their evaluation from, it's the same information that you as a real estate agent are going to have access to.
Absolutely. There's so much great information. And so I know there's more questions. You guys, if you have questions regarding mortgages and process, how that works, what are the processes, you can either tune in to one of our buyer seminars, and we'll put a link below, or you can submit your questions and we're happy to get them answered and post videos so that you guys can be kept up to date on what is occurring and what's happening in our ever-changing market right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, until next week, Josh.
Yes, Holly.
We'll see you then. Get ready for more questions. Please send them in below, guys. We're so looking forward to being able to answer those. Bye, Josh.
Bye, Holly. Have a great night.